Alrighty, hello everyone. I wanted to make a video to analyze the this clinical study that is presented by this very popular chiropractor on YouTube. Channel goes by Advanced Chiropractic Relief. Has about 500,000 subscribers, lots of millions of views. And I actually really like watch the channel. It's pretty funny. It's funny just like hearing his comments. His questions are very biased when he asks to the patients, but that's beside the point. Um, the everybody likes hearing the cracks. It's just good. It's good entertainment. It's good. There's all these crazy chiropractic videos. Everybody watching them for entertainment. It's fun. But as soon as I saw him start to wave around some evidence, ooh, that's when I was like, okay, it's time to take a closer look. So I am going to just play the clip of this paper in question that he talks about here.
Straight to the point. It's all good stuff.
Speaking of clinical, we just got our first case study published in the Asia Pacific Chiropractic Journal, and it says clinical evidence. So those of you out there who have poo-pooed this ring dinger and manual spinal neural decompression on the y-axis, how many studies do you have published on your technique?
So there it is. There's pretty much the defense and his attack. So as soon as I saw this, I was like, okay, I need to take a look at this paper. So just to confirm here, I kind of zoomed in, non-surgical manual spinal neural decompression adjustment of the y-axis. Can the results be quantified? Okay. I actually was able to find this paper, so I was like, perfect, let's make a video. Let us take a in-depth look of this clinical evidence that is presented by our dear Gregory Johnson here. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm just take a quick scan. It's a case report, which is pretty low level of evidence. A case report typically only involves a few test subjects. It's typically an inexpensive study. It's something that's not a large-scale study. It's typically a short duration study. So its level of evidence is based on that quite low on the scale of things compared to like randomized controlled trials, meta-analyses. So this is absolutely nowhere near the level of that. If you had to imagine it on a pyramid, it would be pretty on the bottom. He really liked to point out this clinical evidence at the top right here. That really doesn't mean anything. Anybody can write something and put clinical evidence on the top, so let's just get that out of the way. That doesn't really mean anything. Asia Pacific Chiropractic Journal. I have not heard of this journal, so anyways. Going back, I'm just going to take a quick scan here of the paper. Immediately, I can tell it is extremely short. So we're looking at page 4 here. It's not even 4 pages. It's about 3.5 once you take away the title. So we talked about the case report. First glaringly big red flag I can see is that it only has one author, which is pretty hard to do for a case report with only one author. Typically, you want at least a few people helping you on a case report. So the fact that this is done by only one author is really fishy. Next thing, it is done by himself. And what he is trying to prove, if we read this very short abstract, a measurable physiological change was observed in a test subject after the manual spinal neural decompression adjustment of the y-axis via ring dinger procedure. So clearly he is trying to present evidence for this ring dinger procedure that he does. The main issue is that there is a huge conflict of interest here. The paper is written by himself. It has no other outside opinions. It has no other expert opinions. It has no unbiased thoughts that are put into this paper. So, huge red flag, big conflict of interest, and there's definitely bias in this paper. For that reason alone, you can pretty much throw this paper out. I technically can stop the video here and end it there very fast, just after doing that quick scan and seeing that it's only done by him and this is his procedure that he made. We can stop right here and be done. But for the sake of the video, we shall continue. So the ability to measure physiologic changes would allow for a full study of the chiropractic procedure using standard research practice. A minimum of 25 subjects in a pilot study should be used to establish the necessary limits for established statistical analysis. So this is not an abstract. This is just one result sentence, and it really actually doesn't say anything. There's no values mentioned here. There's no p-value. There's nothing here. So, okay. Let's keep going. So he gives an introduction here with a QR code. Spinal decompression has been around for many years. Doesn't specify the amount of years. Although it has been argued that there's a lack of clinical evidence to support the efficacy of this treatment. Well, rightfully so. This paper seeks to determine whether or not a physiological measurement can be taken to quantify the decompression procedure so that controlled experiment may be designed to probably demonstrate the efficacy of this procedure. Okay. So case reports are pretty good to use before starting further studies. So case reports are very experimental. They're essentially used to pave the way to more fully complete studies to examine a certain something, whatever it may be, some kind of intervention, some kind of technique, maybe some kind of there's all kinds of things. But anyways, let's keep going here. Patient, so it just explains here, another procedure uses a spinal decompression table that allows supine the chiropractor to decompress the entire spine on the y-axis in one maneuver. Johnson 2020. Okay, hang on. If I scroll down here. Oh my god, okay. So he references himself in a case study, a case report that he wrote himself, trying to justify a treatment or a procedure that he himself has created. Wow. So it's basically saying, hey, I think this is what this is, and that's true because I said it over there. So he writes a case report on a known procedure that he made, and he references himself. And yeah, Fox News. Okay, let's just keep going. I don't want to look at that. All right. In order to provide evidence of efficacy for this decompression, repeatable measurement must be made. Repeatable measurement must be made to document before and after. Materials and methods. This study is unique but similar. The piece of chiropractic equipment used in this pilot study is unique but similar to other traction decompression tables such as DRX 900. So he uses a unique piece of equipment, which already kind of isn't good, because then how are other people going to reproduce this study? Another similar technique is done with a Pedibond Y strap, but it does not incorporate the pins to fix the pelvis. This doesn't matter because we don't care about this. But funny enough, I know he has a bit of a grudge with this Y strap, so I could tell he just decided to throw it in here because he hates it, which kind of shows, which already just in and of itself proves some bias here, so he did not have to include the sentence at all. Goes on, just talking about it, whatever. Fine motor control testing methods. To monitor physiological changes patient is expected to experience, changes in the fine motor control of the hands will be measured according to the SR3053 system produced by Red Oak Instruments. Handheld sensor that the subject squeezes with the thumb, index, small finger simultaneously when given an asynchronous prompt from a computer program. We don't know what this prompt is. We don't know what the computer program is, so he didn't mention either of those things, so this cannot be reproduced. Measurements are made every millisecond on all three digits, which are then used to provide information on strength, reaction times, coordination, and timing errors. Biomechanical test is non-invasive, and he finally manages to reference someone else here. Okay. So single patient, again, very low levels of evidence. It's only one patient. It's very, yeah, just no specifics at all here. Goes into the patient history, which yeah is good, but super short history here. Non-specific low back pain, sciatica. He does provide a control patient here, but I don't think there's any. Might as well not have it. There's really no point. Test subject was regularly scheduled in the clinic. He was advised of the project and asked if he wanted to be a part of the pilot study. Agreeing, he was signed a consent form and then given a baseline test with the SR3053 system. After the baseline test. Okay, so we don't know what the baseline test was. He doesn't go into specifics about what the baseline test was. So we don't know what happened. After the baseline test, he was taken to treatment for the decompression procedure. Once the decompression procedure was completed, okay, hold on. Okay, so we don't know what the baseline test was, and we don't know what the decompression procedure was. So we can't even, this is not reproducible, and it doesn't even prove this ring dinger procedure because he doesn't say that that's what he did here. It's just decompression procedure. So glaring lack of specifics in this paper. I mean, nothing is reproducible here. Any researcher with some amount of background in doing studies would immediately throw this paper in the trash. I mean, this is just not only this is a case report, it's a very poorly written case report. I mean, this is something that I wouldn't even expect from an undergraduate to write, let alone a doctor. Once the decompression treatment was completed, he was retested using the system to determine whether any physiological changes were evident. For comparison, okay, so basically what they did is they did some kind of baseline test, then they did some kind of decompression procedure. Don't actually know if it was this ring dinger or what was it. And then they did some kind of retest, retest, is basically what they did. So they tested, did this decompression, retested. Results of this comparison table are shown in Table 1. Okay, let's take a look at these results here. Took 2 series of tests while the control took 3 series of tests. Okay, why would the intervention subject only take 2 and the control take 3? That doesn't really make much sense. We got 2 figures here with some charts. Okay. All right, series of tests. Right hand, left hand, right hand, left hand. For the right hand shown in the open light shaded ball, the second shown as solid bars. Okay. Okay, so there is one. Okay, so first thing, all they did was have 2 subjects and this control subject, which doesn't really matter. And they only took 4 measurements. There's series 1, series 2. I don't know what this series means. And also, where are the units? What are these numbers? What do these numbers mean? There's an average, there's a standard deviation. What are these numbers measuring? So it said back here that they took strength, reaction time, coordination, timing errors. So where is... I don't know what any of these numbers mean. This is just... So looking at these 2 charts here, there's a lot of reaction time, hand coordination, reaction variance, scale. What is this scale supposed to show? Okay, so there's numbers here, but what do these numbers mean? Like, there's no units at all. This data is just unreadable. What am I reading here? Is this seconds? Is this milliseconds? Is this what is this? Is this even a time? This data is just absolutely pointless. Like it's just useless. This data doesn't tell me anything at all. Discussions and conclusions now. Data indicate that the test individual did show observable improvement immediately after the chiropractic treatment. No, it didn't. First of all, I don't know what you did. I don't know what the baseline test was. I don't know what the decompression procedure was. I don't know what the retested procedure was. I don't know what any of these units mean. It should be reasonable to enroll. Enroll is spelled incorrectly. At least 25 subjects in a pilot study. Nobody's going to do this because nobody can reproduce this study. Ideally, at least 2 to 3 procedures. What kinds of procedures would be conducted on each subject over the course of the treatment? The subject would take preliminary to establish a baseline as well as thorough diagnostic evaluation for comorbidities. So he's saying we should do all this again, but we don't know what's going on here. We don't know what is Epstein treatment, blah, blah, blah. This would allow for measure / evaluation of the reduction or regression of the previous stage treatment, ... if any, period. Okay, wow. This procedure would be repeated 3rd time as well. This would allow for a series evaluation of the subject's determine of the rate of improvement as well as magnitude. So you don't even need somebody that's even highly educated. You can give this paper to an undergraduate and they can say, as I will, that this is just complete garbage. This paper says absolutely nothing. There's only 5 references, so that pretty much does it. I mean, this paper really doesn't say anything. It doesn't prove anything. And the fact that something like this was published in a journal is evident that this journal is highly, highly irreputable and is just... If this journal allows something like this to be published, then this journal, we can just ignore this journal. This journal is just absolutely lost all its recognition and just reputation as a journal, because this isn't a study. This is something written by a high schooler in an afternoon. So for reference, I want to show what a more actual good full case report looks like. So this was a case report done by 2 authors here. So this is what actually a full abstract looks like. Much more details. It summarizes, it talks about the interventions, it talks about background and purpose, outcomes, conclusion. The background and purpose and the case description of this paper alone is longer than this entire thing. And it goes into specifics, a lot more data, a lot more references. I'm seeing references here, references everywhere here. There's just references, all over the place in this paper. There's more references over here. So it goes into detail, has illustrations of how the intervention is performed, so people that actually read this can have a better idea as to what is happening. More references here. A lot more values, a lot more numbers, and if we go all the way down here, there is 89 references in this case report. So this is what a full case report looks like. This is, this is just a whole pile of nothing. So anyways, I hope this kind of shows that not all research is equal, and some research is far better than others, and some other research should not belong in a journal, such as this one. And yeah, clinical evidence, we can forget about that. So yeah, that is all I really have for this video. If you guys have any questions or comments, I will gladly answer any questions. Just go ahead, leave anything in the description below. that's going to be it for this. I hope you enjoyed this kind of deep dive into this case report done by our Gregory Johnson of YouTube. And I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did, because I had a bit of quite a laugh going through this paper. Anyways, see you guys on the next video.